Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Steve Shanley, director of the Cedar Rapids Municipal Band, back for his weekly visit during the summer, talking about this week's concerts. The band always plays 2 concerts each week on Wednesday and Sunday, and this is week 4 already.
This is week 4 already.
And we're halfway through.
Almost halfway, yeah. Can't believe it's flying by so quickly, but been a great summer so far, and excited especially about this week because it is when we team up with Iowa Brass. And this was something we started last summer, where Iowa Brass would play their set from 7 o'clock to 7:45, and then we'd play our set from 8 until 8:45. And we got one of them in. We got our Wednesday concert in last year, but the Sunday concert, weather had other plans. So we're excited to try that again and hopefully introduce each of our audiences maybe to a group that they haven't been as familiar with because we think both groups are wonderful and have a lot to offer our community.
Now, is this? I'm going to really show my ignorance here. Is a brass band it's only brass
and percussion.
Okay, and percussion.
Yep.
I knew there was something else. I knew there was another part of the instrumentation that was involved, but then all of a sudden I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah, I know just enough about it to be dangerous, but it's the British brass band tradition that has sort of caught on in pockets here over in the United States, and it's definitely not as prevalent as the community concert bands, but they're all over, and Iowa Brass is one of the finest in the country. Oh. They go and compete at festivals every year, and then many of our fine players also play in their group, and so we're really excited about it.
One of the other neat things about the brass band is you get some interesting instrumentation, brass instruments that you don't see every day. I mean, we know the trombone, we know the trumpet, we know the euphonium, maybe,
right.
We know the tuba, but I have seen some really interesting different kinds of brass instruments.
Yeah, you get
bands.
Variations on all of those. You get a slightly smaller trumpet, and you get a slightly smaller tuba as well, and then you've got the E-flat, the alto horns, and all of those types of things as well. So it's cool. And I like, especially since I'm not the one needing to play it, one thing you and I have talked about in the past is this idea of arranging or transcribing music from other mediums. So when we play orchestral music, the string parts often will get dumped into the clarinet or the flute part. And oftentimes that is much more difficult to play on the flute or the clarinet than it was on the original violin. Well, you could take that a step further, and a lot of times brass bands, including Iowa Brass, will play these very difficult transcriptions where they don't have woodwinds to give those violin parts to. So the trumpet players are needing to play those. And so the technical demands for a group like that can be especially challenging. And then on top of that, because there are only brass, they got to be playing pretty much the whole time. So that can be taxing from an endurance standpoint too. So it's really a high degree of difficulty. And you'll find on YouTube recordings of brass bands that maybe don't sound super great. And it's not because those bands aren't very good. It's because what they're being asked to do is so challenging. And Iowa Brass makes it sound easy because they're all such good players.
And the lips and mouth things that are required of a brass instrument are, the embouchure. Am I saying that right?
Embouchure, yeah.
Embouchure is even more taxing than other instruments.
It is, yeah.
As a recovering trombone player,
yes.
You can speak to that.
Yeah, you run out of gas a little bit faster than you would if you were playing the clarinet.
So what's on the municipal band's program for this, now that we've talked about the brass band?
Yeah, so for our side of things, we're going to just feature the band this week. There won't be any guest soloists, and we're opening with one of my favorite band transcriptions of an orchestral selection, the Festive Overture by Dmitri Shostakovich. We haven't played that one in a few years, so very excited to kind of open with that for David Lang and a couple of the folks who are in both groups. I don't know how excited they are about finishing their 45-minute brass band set and then sitting down to play Festive Overture. Then after that, I take it easy on them. We're going to celebrate the release of the live-action Moana film by playing some selections from that, which is just wonderful music. Thought it would be very appropriate, since it's the brass band, that we take a moment during our program to feature the clarinet section, sort of in retaliation. So we're playing the clarinet polka, which will feature the entire clarinet section. It's a wonderful section this week on some clarinet acrobatics, and then my probably musical idol on the jazz side of things, Duke Ellington. We're playing a selection to honor him, and as many of the listeners to KCCK know, just an amazing individual, not only in terms of jazz composition, but I just think of how few people could compose like that much music, how many different types of music he would write in his styles over the year. And his amazing piano playing, virtuosic piano player. And a lot of people kind of don't really know that until you get to maybe hear him play some solo or duet stuff. And then also the undoing for most jazz musicians, his lifestyle, lived a pretty good, clean lifestyle, and therefore was just a brilliant businessman. So I just have the utmost respect for Ellington, and that's why we have a whole bunch of Ellington medleys in our library. So excited to show some of that off as well.
Is it difficult to get a full concert band to swing?
It can be. Thankfully, our concert band is quite good at it. So there are a number of musicians who already either inherently can do that, or what I really enjoy is for the musicians in the band where the swinging doesn't come super naturally to them. They're such good players that if I say, hey, so on this measure, just put an accent on that note and that note and that note, and they're like, okay, and they write it in, and then all of a sudden, bam, it sounds like we're swinging. So it can be a little bit difficult. The toughest thing really about recreating that sound with the municipal band and with concert bands in general, I don't think is as much the swing style, it's the rhythm section, that we don't have this dedicated drum set and amplified upright bass and piano and guitar to really give that driving, because that's the engine of the band.
That's what locks the band in.
Yeah. So I mean, in a sense, we're kind of like taking out this beautiful 54 passenger motor coach that is really comfortable and looks really nice, and we really don't have the original engine in it. Like, we kind of rebuilt it, or we took an engine from a Ford Focus and stuck it in there, and we kind of fake it the best we can, and then obviously missing out a little bit on the improvisation aspect of things too. But I think that's something that speaks real highly to any composition or work of musical art that was originally in a genre like that, or rock, which is the same thing, rock and pop, where we had the rhythm section being really important, is if it can translate into the concert band. And if it can, that means that the harmonies, the way the notes all fit together, and the melodies, that those were really well constructed to the point where they stand alone on their own. And if they don't, and we've played some over the years, I'm like, oh, we can do a medley by so-and-so. I always love their music. And we start to play it. And I'm like, yeah, I think maybe the rhythm section groove and the lyrics were a little more important to this than I thought, because that was like 16 measures of really not a whole lot of stuff happening there. So again, Ellington's music, even without a rhythm section and even without some improvising in the middle, it's still just beautiful melodies, beautiful harmonies.
You had another piece or two you wanted to mention before I jumped in with that.
Sure.
Wander off into the tall grass.
Yeah, and then near the end, we're doing a little medley on the Legends of Soul,
nice.
Aretha Franklin, Otis Redding, and so that's kind of fun too. And that's a new one. We haven't played that one before, so I'm excited to work that.
And
in
also
as well.
a little challenging to get your concert band to be funky.
Exactly. Yes, and so it remains to be seen if that one is going to stand on its own without Aretha's lyrics and voice over the top of it. But I think the melodies and the harmonies are pretty cool and stand on their own.
The Cedar Rapids Municipal Band in action the 24th of June, Wednesday night, at your new home at Kingston Yard.
Kingston Yard, yes.
And then Sunday the 28th.
We're at Ellis Park, And this is pretty cool. We just a couple weeks ago, we had our first concert of the season at Ellis Park, and we're in the Shakespeare Garden, which they had recently redone. And it's so scenic. I love it. And the audience is in the shade the whole time. And the band is kind of on this natural elevated section, and it's great. There's a little bit of noise from the road, but really there was in the old location as well. And one thing I kind of liked at that first concert was when the cars were driving by, they would kind of slow down and look to see what was happening. So Shakespeare Garden, it's gorgeous. So encourage you to come check us out there as well.
All right, concerts start. Well, your concerts start at 7:30, but because of the brass band, things are a little different.
Good reminder. So the brass band will start at 7:00 both evenings. We'll start at 8:00 both evenings, and each group will play about 45 minutes. And keep an eye on the weather. Check us out on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. We'll do a good job keeping you updated there, or you can go to the website at crmuniband.org.
Thanks for being here, Steve. Talk to you next week for Patriotic Week.
Patriotic coming up. Thanks, Dennis.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:30, on demand at kcck.org/culture, or subscribe using your favorite podcast player. Watch our videos on the KCCK Facebook and YouTube channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. The Culture Crawl theme is composed by Vivian Shanley. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.